Well, before we go, we know that Cristiano Ronaldo joined Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. What this means is that there is a new revolution in the Middle East in terms of football, using football as a tool to change the narrative. Well, we are going to have a presentation on what this means for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia to make this deal and what it means for their future. Now, first of all, this decision by Saudi Arabia or Al Nassr to get Ronaldo is not only a fluke. In 2016, Saudi Arabia decided to do a strategic Vision 2030, and it's a framework to reduce Saudi Arabia's dependence on oil and diversify its economy and develop public service sectors in health, education, infrastructure, recreation, and tourism. Sports is also part of it. And in sports, what they are trying to do is, first of all, as part of their efforts, they will try to host the 2030 World Cup with Egypt and Greece. What this means is this will be the first time in football history that a World Cup will be held with 3 different countries in 3 different federations. That's Egypt in Africa, Saudi Arabia in Asia, and Greece in Europe. And also, they are trying to focus on securing the hosting rights for the 2027 Men's Asia's Cup. But what is really what they want? They're also trying to develop players who will be able to compete at the highest level in Europe. Because remember, at the World Cup, they had no player playing in Europe. Most of their players were playing the league, and about 9 players were from Al Nassr, and some were also from Al Hilal and other clubs. Now, what does Ronaldo bring to the club and his pedigree? He's the first player to score in 5 World Cups, the most player of the match awards in World Cup history, the first player to score in 10 consecutive World Cup major tournaments, or 10 consecutive major tournaments. Azerbaijan had a record at the time with 9. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo has broken the record. He's now the player with the most goals in football's history. He's also the player with the most goals in international football, as well as the most Champions League goals. So he comes with a huge pedigree, a huge profile, and he's trying to boost the league in Saudi Arabia, which is not even in the first 20 in terms of the domestic leagues in the world. Now, let's look at the contract that Saudi Arabia has given to Ronaldo. He's going to be earning $200 million a year, $16 million a month, $548,000 a day, $22,000 an hour, and $380 in a day. Now, you would ask yourself, what's the influence Ronaldo brings? There it is. In less than a week, Al Nassr's Instagram or social media following has increased. They are now having 9.6 million followers on Instagram. And they are ahead of these big teams, some in Europe and some in South America. AS Roma, for example, they just won the UEFA Conference League just last year, and they've surpassed them in just less than a week. Palmeiras in Brazil, one of the big teams in Brazil. Napoli, they have just lost their unbeaten run in Europe. They were the leading team with unbeaten runs, and they just lost it there. Marseille, which is one of the traditional clubs in France, a big team as well, Frank Lampard's Everton. So it means clearly, with the amount we've seen that they are paying Ronaldo, they've even gotten or achieved this just in a week, achieving a huge Instagram following, social media following. We've also seen that the Saudi government is also trying to host a lot of sporting activities away from football. They have hosted WWE championships. They've also hosted Formula 1 races, that's the Saudi Grand Prix. They're also trying to host the 2027 Asian Winter Games, and among other things. And also, we've seen boxing matches where we saw Anthony Joshua fight out his matches in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So it means that there's a new revolution building up in the Middle East. It started with Qatar hosting the World Cup and bringing Messi. Now, Saudi Arabia is also trying to host the World Cup, and they're trying to lead the race with acquiring Cristiano Ronaldo to be in the club, get a number of followers, increase their followers, increase their viewership. Maybe we might see them get onto TV, get some TV rights, and from there, the quest to host the 2030 World Cup by Saudi Arabia is very much in fine form. Well, that's all the sports. I'm GHOne TV. Back to you, Sarah, for more news.
Thank you very much, Eugene, for bringing us all of those updates. We're grateful. Let's bring you EZO now.